It's a long game. Well, good morning. It's Tuesday, and I'm off. I'm off to work. Today, be working on writing. Plan to write all day. What? Still in the air because I got to go where my creativity is. And I may start somewhere and it ends somewhere else. So I'll hit you back up with a midday or late day update. But something I wanted to talk about. It's funny because a couple years ago, back in 2017, I stumbled upon a video. The guy's name was Charlie Lee, and he was talking about something called a Litecoin. And that was the beginning of my leap into the subject of cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency, I did a lot of research, definitely initially, and I suffered through the 2018 bear market. So I got in after watching Charlie Lee's video. I was like, well, this sounds like the thing to do. And that had been going from investing in stock market or gold and silver or whatever, and kind of being a just someone who doesn't invest. Here's what I'll say. I spent many years reading every book I could and learning everything I could about how to invest right. From Warren Buffett's books to The Intelligent Investor, I suffered through that entire book, learning how to value companies. And at the end of it all, I picked some winners, but I usually got out of those winners too early. So I wasn't buying to hold, I was buying to make short-term gains. And I've just learned that buying to gain in the short term, I always lose. I mean, literally, I'll give you an example. I've never been into stock options, but I did that recently. I put, we'll just say, an amount of money into a stock option, and it went up 600%. Now, you might say, hey, that's a good return. You should sell it. Because I made that return in less than 3 weeks. But what did I do? I sold it, and then I bought back in low, and I turned it into another 200% as it went back up, and I sold it. The problem is I don't know when to stop. It's kind of like you go into the casino, and that's what I see the stock market is now, as much as people want to say, oh, well, you should invest. And if you put your money into something and you never take it out, okay, that's less of a stock market play or a casino play. But if you're day trading or trading even weekly or monthly, you're starting to bridge into that casino mentality, because once it takes hold of you, it's hard to stop. And that's what I found myself in. So I got my initial investment all the way up to $120,000, and I pulled it out, and I was happy. And then I saw an opportunity, and it was a short-term stock option play, and I'm still learning stock option. And man, I bought it thinking that I'd make a couple 10 grand here and there fairly easily, and it sank. And I watched that thing expire out of the money, and that was painful. But it was one of the most expensive learning experiences I've ever had, especially when it comes to stock options. Now, could I use that money? Heck yeah, I could. I could have used that money. I have not paid off my student loans. Got a boatload of student loans. I got credit card debt and stuff. I've been wanting to settle, and man, I could have done that. But instead, I chose to lose and learn a good lesson. What is that good lesson? Stay out of short-term gains. Focus on the long term. And really, that's what I've been learning this whole experience is focus on the long term. And so when it came to cryptocurrency, back to that, is I was really focused on the short term when I got into it. I bought into Litecoin. I think I had like $1,000 extra in savings, and I was like, let's just see what happens. And I ended up buying in June and watching it go from my initial investment in 10x. So my $1,000 turned into $10,000. Once you see gains like that, that's addicting, man. So anyways, my investing turned heavily into crypto, and I listened to a lot of good advice, and so what I did in the bear market was I invested $500 to $1,000 over several months, really over 2018, 2019, even into 2020, into all these different projects I had researched. And through this 2021 bull market, 2020, 2021, I've seen some of them, some of them are still in the red, very few, but some of them are, especially in regards to Bitcoin, definitely in the red. Not Bitcoin itself, but when you measure your, call it altcoin, compared to a Bitcoin, I'm still very much in the red on a few, but there were some that went up 600, 1200%. I bought Mana. It was this decentralized, they call it Decentraland, but it's like this land on the internet you can buy. You do all kinds of stuff in it, but anyways, so I watched Mana go from my $500 initial investment to $12,000 over the course of like 2 months. I cashed out on that one, and I reinvested into a couple other projects, but really, I guess what I'm saying is you can utilize these bull markets if you're in crypto. The best advice I've ever gotten that I haven't yet, that I'm going to, but I haven't yet done is pull out the money, because everything I've invested has just been reinvested, and I'm holding it for the long term, especially Bitcoin and stuff. And I don't have much, but you don't really need much. It's a hedge. It's a hedge against really the dollar inflating. It's a hedge against it hasn't been proved hedge yet, but I would say it's a hedge. It's like gold, and until it's proven otherwise, it is. So hold on to that, and I'm really focusing more on how I can generate monthly income. But everything that I'm focused on, it takes time. I mean, it could be years before I see any benefit from it. All these things I'm working on, and I'm okay with that as long as I'm putting food on the table, and my wife's okay with that as long as we're putting food on the table. So, all right, midday update. All right, midday update. So, what have I gotten done so far today? Actually, a lot. I spent some time on the website. I redid the intro, and we're cutting some things out. And I'm working with my editor. She actually help me as we go forward in telling the story, the Dark Wars, from an adult adult style perspective. Maybe close to YA. We'll see. I've written three of the chapters in the story so far, but the style and just the way I wrote it, I know it needs to be edited again. So to have her, her name is Rain, have her on board to help me kind of get those dialed in and get the next ones out, that's going to be kind of exciting. So I'm excited about that, and I'm going to help my buddy right now. Same buddy, we tore the walls down. We're going to tear some more walls down, and after that I'll be back to work, back to writing. Hopefully have that website done this week. That's my hope. And yeah, so it's exciting. Midday update. Maybe you'll even get an end of day update today. We'll see. And I also got to post these. So I'll see you in a bit.